Today, I'm going to walk you through 5 subtle behavioral shifts that often show up when a woman has gone a long time without real intimacy. Curious, pay close attention, because the last one is the most powerful. It's the difference between being seen as just a friend and being felt as someone she genuinely desires. Second, she begins seeking emotional reassurance more often. When there's a lack of meaningful attention, it can create a quiet emotional gap. This isn't about needing validation in a shallow way, but about wanting to feel understood. She may ask deeper or slightly vulnerable questions like whether she handled something the right way or if she comes across too strongly. She isn't always looking for advice. She's looking to feel seen. A thoughtful, emotionally aware response creates a stronger bond than a quick, surface-level reply ever could. Third, her body language shifts in subtle ways when she's around you. After a long period without connection, her sensitivity to attraction can increase. You might notice her adjusting her hair more often, shifting her posture, leaning in slightly, or holding eye contact longer than usual. These are unconscious signals. The mistake many men make is rushing things when they notice them. First, touch starts becoming a quiet language. When meaningful physical closeness has been missing, the body naturally begins to crave it. This is sometimes described as skin hunger, where simple contact carries more emotional weight. You might notice she finds small reasons to touch you, resting her hand on your arm while laughing, fixing your sleeve, or letting her shoulder brush against yours. Thoughtful. These moments are rarely random. They tend to linger just a bit longer. What matters most is how you respond. If you pull away or seem tense, she may read it as disinterest. But if you stay relaxed and respond naturally, you create comfort and openness. A better approach is to match her energy instead of overpowering it. Keep the interaction balanced and natural, like a rhythm you both move within. Fourth, she begins observing your emotional stability. When someone has been alone for a while, they often build protective walls. Before letting someone in, she wants to know if you can handle her real self, not just the version she shows the world. She might open up about something personal or even test you with a slightly challenging comment. She's watching how you react. If you become defensive or try to fix everything, it can create distance. What stands out instead is calmness, patience, and the ability to listen without judgment. Finally, the most powerful shift, she creates opportunities. When she wants connection but doesn't feel ready to say it directly, she'll often set up situations where closeness can happen naturally. It might sound casual, like asking for help at her place or suggesting you watch something together. These moments are invitations, but not in an obvious way. The key is not to rush or force anything. Focus on making her feel comfortable. Let the interaction unfold without pressure. When she starts moving closer, both emotionally and physically, your calm and grounded presence is what makes the moment meaningful. All of these signals are easy to miss if you're focused on trying to impress instead of truly understanding. When someone has gone without connection for a long time, their need for closeness doesn't show up loudly. It appears in small changes, longer eye contact, softer tone, more presence in conversations. These aren't random. They're quiet expressions of a deeper desire for connection. When you recognize them and respond with awareness and respect, you create something real, something both people are actually looking for. You'll notice it first in the way conversations begin to stretch. She doesn't rush to end them. Eye contact lasts a little longer, and even silence starts to feel comfortable instead of awkward. Curious. Many men overlook these moments because they expect attraction to be obvious, but real human connection rarely works like that. When a woman hasn't experienced closeness for a while, she usually doesn't express interest directly. Instead, she tests the emotional space around you. She pays attention to how you respond. Do you match her energy or let it fade? These small exchanges quietly tell her whether something deeper could exist between you. Thoughtful. That's why the early stage often feels hard to explain. Nothing is clearly said, yet something feels different. Conversations flow more smoothly, her gaze carries more meaning, and her presence feels more intentional. These are often the first signs that a deeper need for connection is slowly coming back to the surface, When you understand this, you begin to notice what most people miss. Another clear shift appears in her overall energy around you. She may become more lively, more engaged, and more present in a way that feels different from before. It can look like she's just in a good mood, but when it happens consistently, it usually means more. Playfulness often shows up first. She might tease you lightly, joke more, or create small, fun moments in conversation. This kind of behavior builds a safe, emotional tension. It allows connection to grow without her needing to say anything directly. Through humor, she's also observing how comfortable you are with her. At the same time, her attention toward you becomes sharper. She remembers small things you've said, brings up past conversations, and notices little changes about you. This isn't random. When someone starts valuing an interaction, their focus naturally increases. They listen more closely and become more curious about who you are. Eye contact also deepens here. Instead of quick glances, she may hold your gaze just a bit longer. That simple shift can carry a lot of meaning because it shows openness and interest without words. You might also see her creating more chances to interact. She brings up simple topics that don't really need discussion, but the goal isn't the topic. It's the connection. These small conversations keep the interaction alive. One moment here, another there, and gradually a pattern forms. Each action feels normal on its own, but together they reveal growing curiosity and emotional engagement. People rarely ask for attention directly when they feel vulnerable. Instead, they create moments where attention can grow naturally. There are also times when the energy between you subtly changes. A conversation that once felt ordinary suddenly feels more engaging. She may ask questions that aren't necessary, just to keep things going. It's not about the subject. It's about maintaining your presence. When someone has gone a long time without connection, even simple conversation can feel meaningful because it creates a sense of being seen. Eye contact becomes even more important in these moments. When her gaze lingers, it often means she's paying attention not just to your words, but to you as a person. You may also notice she finds reasons to stay a little longer or continue talking when things should naturally end. Maybe she adds one more comment or asks another small question. These actions often come from a desire to extend a moment that feels good. Laughter also increases. She might laugh more easily or respond with warmth that feels slightly stronger than expected. It's not just about humor. It's a way of building comfort and easing emotional tension. All of these behaviors together create a quiet invitation. She may never say she wants connection, but her actions create space for it to grow. Over time, you may notice what feels like small attention hooks. She might message more often, check in during the day, or share random thoughts that remind her of you. The content may seem simple, but the pattern matters. Each interaction keeps the connection alive. When you respond positively, she builds on it, keeping the rhythm going. This back and forth attention becomes the foundation of emotional attraction. She may also begin asking questions that go slightly deeper. Not intense, but enough to understand how you think and what matters to you. That shift shows she's becoming interested in more than just surface conversation. Even her body language starts aligning with her attention. She leans in slightly, turns toward you, and reacts more openly when you speak. Finally, there's a noticeable change in her emotional energy. She becomes warmer, more curious, and more expressive. She reacts more genuinely to what you share. If you're excited, she shares that excitement. If you're dealing with something difficult, she shows real concern. This reflects emotional presence, not just casual interaction. Her curiosity grows too. She wants to understand your thoughts, your habits, and your perspective. She may remember details you mentioned earlier and bring them up again. That kind of attention shows you've stayed on her mind. You might even notice her mood shift when you're around. A small smile, a brighter tone, a more open posture. These reactions often happen naturally. At first, these changes are small, easy to miss, but over time, they form a pattern. Emotional connection usually develops quietly before anything is ever said out loud. It begins with attention, grows through curiosity, and strengthens through shared moments. And if you're paying attention, you'll see it happening long before anyone needs to explain it.